It's a strange feeling, isn't it? That sense that you've been an adult for as long as you can remember. Maybe you look back at photos of yourself as a child, at 6 or 8 years old, and you see the seriousness in your eyes. You hear the echoes of adults praising you, telling you how mature you were, how responsible, how old for your age. But what they were praising wasn't maturity. It was a trauma response. It was the weight of a world that you, a small child, were never meant to carry. This feeling of having your childhood stolen, of being forced to grow up far too fast, is the silent wound of growing up with a narcissistic parent. It's the ache of being the one who had to be strong, the one who had to be the emotional caretaker, the one who had to put their own needs aside just to survive the emotional landscape of your own home. And today, we're going to talk about that. Not just the pain, but the path through it. The way to finally give yourself the childhood and the safety you were always denied. The origin of this pain, this premature aging of the soul, begins in the emotional instability of the home. When you have a narcissistic parent, the home is not a place of rest or safety. It is a place of constant, low-grade anxiety, punctuated by moments of emotional crisis. The parent's moods are the weather system for the entire family. If they are angry, the house is a storm. If they are feeling slighted, the house is frozen in a cold silence. As a child, you don't understand the narcissism. You only understand the atmosphere. You feel the tension in your body, the tightening in your chest, and you learn, very quickly, that your primary job is to manage that atmosphere. You internalize a responsibility that was never, ever yours. You become the emotional caretaker. When the parent is upset, you learn to make yourself small and quiet. When they are raging, you learn to be invisible, or perhaps you learn to be their confidant, their little therapist. You learn that your needs, your feelings, your childish impulses are dangerous. If you cry, you might make their mood worse. If you are loud and joyful, you might be too much and trigger their irritation. So you begin to edit yourself, to quiet your own soul in favor of theirs. This is the first step in growing up too fast. You stop being a child and start being a manager. You learn that your value is tied directly to your usefulness in this role. Your parents' approval, which you crave like oxygen, is only given when you are performing this duty. When you soothe them, when you listen to their adult problems, when you get good grades to make them look good, you are good. When you are needy, sad, or just a kid, you are a problem. This creates a devastating internal split. The part of you that is a child is bad. The part of you that is a miniature adult is good. And so, you strive, with all your might, to be that miniature adult. This isn't a conscious choice. It's a survival strategy. You become the emotional barometer of the house. You can sense the shift in the parent's mood from the sound of their key in the door. You know, just by the way they sigh, what kind of evening it is going to be. This is a heavy, heavy burden for a child to carry. Your nervous system is perpetually on high alert. You are scanning the horizon for the next emotional storm, desperately trying to figure out how to steer the ship, a ship you should never have been piloting in the first place. This is the root of the pain. It's not just that you did chores, it's that you carried the emotional weight of the adults who were supposed to be carrying you. The child's mind can't comprehend this. It can't understand that the parent is unwell or incapable. The child's mind, in its innocent egocentrism, finds a different explanation. It decides, it must be my fault. If my parent is unhappy, it's because I'm not good enough, not quiet enough, not smart enough. If I could just be the perfect child, the perfect caretaker, then maybe they would be happy. Maybe then they would finally see me and love me. And so, you take on this impossible quest to fix the unfixable, to heal the unhealable. You are a child trying to fill a bottomless pit of adult need. This burden cements the role. You become the responsible one. You might be the one remembering to pay bills, or reminding the parent of appointments, or even taking care of younger siblings in a way that is far beyond your years. You are the mediator in their fights, the shoulder they cry on. You are the parent, and they are the child. This is the inversion. This is parentification. It's the moment your childhood effectively ends. You are still small. You still look like a child. But inside, you are a weary, anxious, tiny adult, bracing yourself for the next responsibility, the next crisis. You become incredibly adept at this. You learn to read people. You learn to anticipate needs. You learn how to de-escalate a tense situation with a well-timed joke or a compliment. These become your superpowers. The world will later praise you for being so intuitive and empathetic. But you and I know the truth. This isn't just empathy, it's a defense mechanism. It's the skill set of a hostage negotiator, learned not in a classroom, but in your own living room. You learn to read the environment because your emotional and sometimes physical safety depended on getting the reading right every single time. This role as the stabilizer becomes your entire identity. You are the good one, the easy one, the mature one. You are the one who holds it all together. But the cost of holding it all together for everyone else is that you are falling apart on the inside. There is no one holding it together for you. There is no one asking you how your day was. There is no one who is a safe container for your fears, your sadness, your childlike joy. You are the container for everyone else. And you are so tired. But you don't even know you're tired because you've never known anything else. This constant state of high alert, this need to read the room and manage the emotional temperature, has a name, though we rarely use it in emotional terms. We call it hypervigilance, but it doesn't feel clinical. It feels like a hum in your bones. It's the inability to relax in a room full of people. It's the constant scanning of faces, listening to tones of voice, trying to figure out if someone is upset with you. It's the feeling that if you let your guard down for even a second, something terrible will happen, something will break, and you believe, deep down, that you are the only one who can prevent it. This is the survival response, and it's wired into your nervous system. This isn't something you can just turn off. It's not a matter of just relaxing or not worrying so much, as people might tell you. This is a deeply ingrained pattern that was necessary for your survival. Your brain learned that the world is not a safe place, and that you are responsible for making it safe. This is the psychological mechanism of parentification. You were forced to bypass your own developmental needs, your need to play, to be messy, to be imperfect, and to rely on a caregiver. You had to become the caregiver yourself. Your own childhood was sacrificed for the sake of the parent's emotional regulation. This constant vigilance is exhausting. It's why, as an adult, you may suffer from chronic fatigue, anxiety, or a sense of dread you can't quite name. Your body is still living in that childhood home. It's still waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's still scanning for danger. Even when you are objectively safe, even when you are with a loving partner or in a calm environment, your nervous system is still braced for impact. It doesn't know how to stand down. It's been on duty for your entire life, and it doesn't know how to take a vacation. This is the core of what it means to grow up too fast. You weren't just given chores. You were given the emotional labor of an entire household. You were made responsible for things that no child should ever be responsible for. The happiness of an adult, the stability of a marriage, the emotional well-being of a parent. This is a crushing weight, and the only way to carry it was to shut down your own needs, to become hyper-alert, to become the watcher, the manager, the tiny, tired adult. This is the legacy you carry, and it's not your fault. When your entire childhood is spent managing the emotional state of a narcissistic parent, your own identity never has a chance to form. Who are you if you are not the caretaker? Who are you if you are not the good student, the peacemaker, the responsible one? You don't know. The question itself is terrifying, because to find out who you are, you would have had to experiment, to fail, to be messy, to have needs. And all of those things were strictly forbidden. They were dangerous. They threatened the parent's fragile ego and the precarious stability of the home. So you developed a mask, or maybe several masks. You became a performer. You became the person they needed you to be. With your parent, you were the compliant, attentive listener. At school, you were the high achiever, the one who had it all together. With friends, you might have been the mom of the group, the one everyone came to for advice. This performer identity is built on a foundation of, what do they need from me? And not, what do I feel? Your own feelings, your own desires, your authentic self were packed away in a box and hidden because it was too dangerous for them to exist. This is the great self-disappearance. Your true self went into hiding. It had to. It was the only way to survive. The self you present to the world is a brilliant, capable, and often very successful construct. But it feels hollow. You feel like an imposter, just waiting to be found out. You receive praise for your competence, but it doesn't land. It doesn't feel real, because you know, deep down, that they are praising the mask, not the real you. And you are terrified that if anyone saw the real you, the needy, tired, messy child underneath, they would reject you. This is why, as an adult, you may feel a profound sense of emptiness or loneliness, even when you are surrounded by people. You are performing constantly. You are so good at it, you may not even realize you're doing it. You are anticipating the needs of your boss, your partner, your friends, and you are meeting them flawlessly, but no one is meeting yours, because no one knows they exist. You have hidden them so well, you've even hidden them from yourself. The performer identity is a lonely one. It's a life lived on a stage, with no one in the audience, not even yourself. That little child who had to grow up too fast didn't just disappear. They didn't mature and go away. They are still inside you. This is the silent wound of the inner child. They are frozen in time, still carrying that heavy burden of responsibility, still feeling that anxiety, still waiting for someone to come and rescue them. They are still holding their breath, waiting for the parent's mood to shift. They are still believing that if they just try a little bit harder, if they are just a little bit better, they will finally be loved. This inner child is the source of so much of your adult pain. When you feel that overwhelming surge of anxiety when your partner is in a bad mood, that's your inner child, terrified that they have done something wrong and are about to be punished or abandoned. When you find yourself unable to rest, constantly needing to be productive, that's your inner child, believing that your worth is tied to your usefulness. When you feel that deep, unnameable loneliness, that's your inner child, longing to be seen and held and told, "You can stop now. I've got you." The needs of that child were never met. The need for safety, the need to be seen, the need to be cherished unconditionally, not for what you did, but just for who you were. The need to be a child, to be silly and messy and imperfect, and to know that you were still loved. These are not trivial needs. They are the fundamental building blocks of a healthy sense of self, and when they go unmet, they create a wound that follows you into adulthood. You are a capable adult on the outside, but on the inside, you are still that child, desperately trying to get your needs met. This is why you may find yourself in relationships that echo the past, drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable or who need fixing. Your inner child is still trying to win the old game. They are still trying to get the narcissistic parent to finally love them, this time in the form of a partner or a boss. But it's a game you can't win. The wound isn't out there to be healed by someone else. The wound is in here. It's the silent, unmet grief of the child who was forced to be an adult and who is still waiting patiently for you to turn around and be the parent to them that they always deserved. In adulthood, these patterns, forged in the fire of a narcissistic home, become our default settings. They are no longer conscious survival strategies. They are just who we are, or so we think. These manifestations are everywhere. Look at your relationships. Do you find yourself drawn to people who need you, people you can save? This is parentification in action. Your subconscious recognizes the role of caretaker as the only way to connect, the only way to feel valuable in a relationship. You give and give and give, often to emotionally immature or narcissistic partners, waiting for them to finally turn around and take care of you, but they never do. And you are left feeling exhausted, resentful, and empty, just like you did as a child. Or perhaps you have a deep-seated distrust of people. You find it hard to be vulnerable, hard to ask for help. Why? Because you learned as a child that no one was coming to help you. You were the help. You learned that relying on others was dangerous. They would either let you down or use your vulnerability against you. So you became a fortress of self-reliance. You are the one everyone else depends on, but you depend on no one. This is a lonely, isolating way to live, but it feels safer than the alternative. Let's talk about your self-worth. For the child who grew up too fast, self-worth is almost always external. It is based on your performance, your achievements, your productivity, your usefulness to others. You feel good about yourself when you get a promotion, when you solve someone's problem, when you get praise for your hard work. But the moment you stop doing, the moment you try to rest, you are flooded with anxiety and guilt. You feel lazy, worthless, because your inner child learned that you are only lovable when you are serving. The idea of being loved just for being is a foreign, unbelievable concept. And then there's rest. You probably don't know how to do it. True, deep, nervous system rest. You might collapse on the couch and watch TV, but your mind is still running. You're making to-do lists, worrying about work, replaying conversations. Your body is still in that hypervigilant state. Rest feels lazy. It feels dangerous. It's an indulgence you haven't earned. Because in your childhood home, rest was not something you were given. You were always on call, always on duty. This inability to rest is your body still honoring the rules of a war that is, hopefully, long over. Finally, there's emotional regulation. You are likely an expert at regulating other people's emotions. You can calm a raging boss, soothe a crying friend, mediate a family dispute. You are a master of it. But what about your own emotions? You probably have two settings: numb or overwhelmed. You either suppress your feelings, pushing them down because they are inconvenient or too much, or they leak out sideways in moments of sudden, unexplainable anger or tears. You were never taught how to feel your own feelings. You were taught how to manage theirs. This is the adult manifestation of the child who had to grow up too fast. It is heartbreakingly logical, all of this. There is a biological, emotional reasoning behind every single one of these patterns. As a child, your brain has one primary directive, and it is not happiness or authenticity. It is survival. And survival, for a human child, depends on one thing: attachment to a caregiver. You are biologically wired to attach, to connect, to seek proximity to the adults who keep you alive. This need is more powerful than the need for food or water. It is everything. Now, what happens when that caregiver, the source of your survival, is also the source of your pain? What happens when the person you must attach to is the person who is unpredictable, critical, or emotionally absent? You are put in an impossible bind. Your authentic self, the part of you that has needs, feelings, and a desire to be seen, is a threat to the attachment. When you expressed your authentic self, when you cried or had a tantrum or disagreed, you were met with rage or cold silence or disapproval. You learned at a cellular level that me is not safe, so you made an impossible choice. But for a child, it's the only choice. You sacrificed authenticity for the sake of attachment. You put your real self into a deep, hidden place, and you brought forward the performer, the caretaker, the mask. You became the child your parent needed you to be, because that was the only way to maintain the connection. Without that connection, your child brain reasoned, you would not survive. This wasn't a mistake. This was your brilliant, adaptive, survival-driven brain keeping you alive in an impossible situation. This is why, as an adult, it feels so terrifying to be authentic, to say no, to state a boundary, to ask for what you need. It feels, in your body, like a life or death threat, because your nervous system remembers. It remembers that authenticity equals rejection, authenticity equals abandonment, and abandonment, to the child, feels like death. So you continue to sacrifice your authenticity, you continue to perform, you continue to put your needs last, all in the service of maintaining attachments. Even if those attachments are unhealthy or unfulfilling, you are still that child, choosing attachment over authenticity because you are still trying to survive. The long-term consequences of this role inversion are deep and pervasive. They are not just behavioral, they are in your very bones, in the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what the world is like. The most profound consequence is the internal narrative you've developed. The voice in your head, the one that criticizes you, that tells you you're not good enough, that you're selfish for resting, that you're an imposter. That voice is not yours. It is the internalized voice of the narcissistic parent. You were trained to see yourself through their critical, demanding eyes, and you have continued that job for them, long after you've left the home. This internal narrative dictates your coping styles. You might be an overachiever, a perfectionist, driven by a relentless need to prove your worth. This is the child who is still trying to get the A in life that will finally win the parent's love. Or you might be the opposite. You might be stuck in self-sabotage, unable to finish things, because deep down, you feel so worthless that you don't deserve success. Both are branches from the same poisoned root. They are both coping mechanisms for a childhood where your worth was never a given. It was something you had to earn every single day. Relational effects are another deep consequence. You live with a fundamental ambivalence about connection. You crave intimacy more than anything. That deep, soulful connection where you can finally be seen, but you are also terrified of it. To be truly seen is to be vulnerable, and vulnerability, in your childhood, was a liability. It was weakness, to be exploited or dismissed, so you keep people at arm's length. You might be friendly, you might be nice, but you don't let anyone in. Or you swing to the other extreme, and you enmesh, clinging to partners in a desperate attempt to fill the void, losing yourself in their needs just as you lost yourself in your parents. And then there is the body. Your body has kept the score, the chronic tension in your shoulders and neck. That is the weight of the world you've been carrying since you were 5. The tightness in your chest, the shallow breathing, that is the hypervigilance. The body still waiting for the next crisis. The digestive issues, the headaches, the autoimmune disorders. This is what a lifetime of suppressed emotion and chronic stress looks like. Your body is screaming the truth that your mind was forced to deny. This is too much. I cannot hold all of this. If this is resonating with you, if you are feeling that ache of recognition, first, just take a breath. You are not alone in this. This pain is real, and it has a name. I want to ask you, does this feel true for you? That feeling of being the adult in the room, even when you were the child? If it does, I want to invite you to share in the comments. You can just write, "I was forced to be the adult." You don't have to write anything else. It's a way of bearing witness to your own story, and it's also a way of letting every other person reading it know that they are not alone either. Your story matters, and your sharing helps break the silence for someone else. The first step on the path to healing, the very first and most important step, is awareness. It is the act of witnessing. It is turning your gaze inward, with compassion, and finally acknowledging what happened. It is the moment you stop saying, "It wasn't that bad," or "It made me strong," or "They did their best." It is the moment you look at the reality of your childhood, in all its painful detail, and you say, "That was not okay, that was not normal, and it was not my fault." This is not about blame, it is about truth. For so long, you have been gaslighting yourself. You've been minimizing your own pain. Why? Because to face the truth of your childhood, to face the reality that the people who were supposed to love and protect you were the source of your deepest wounds, is terrifying. It is an agony. It is easier to blame yourself. It is easier to believe you were the problem. Because if you were the problem, then you could fix it. You could be a better child, a better performer, but you were never the problem. You were a child in an impossible situation. Witnessing is the act of breaking this cycle of self-gaslighting. It's about validating your own experience. It's about listening to that small, inner child who has been whispering their truth for decades, and you've been shushing them, telling them to be quiet. Now is the time to listen. What are they saying? They are saying, "Ron, or I was scared." They are saying, "Ron, I was lonely." They are saying, "I was so tired." Your job now is to sit with that child, and to be the witness they never had. To say to them, "I see you, I hear you, and I believe you." This act of internal validation is the most powerful medicine in the world. It begins to rewire your brain. For the first time, you are not looking out there for someone to tell you that your reality is real. You are telling yourself. You are becoming your own anchor. This is the antidote to the gaslighting. It is the foundation upon which all other healing is built. You cannot heal a wound you pretend does not exist. Awareness, witnessing, truth-telling. This is how you stop the bleeding. It's the beginning of claiming your own story. The paradox of this wound is that it often creates a high-functioning adult. To the outside world, you are the epitome of success. You are the competent colleague, the reliable friend, the one who handles crises with a calm that others envy. You are the one who gets it all done. You are successful. You are capable. And you are, secretly, deeply, profoundly, exhausted. This is the high-functioning adult wound. It's a life built on a foundation of survival, not a foundation of authenticity. You are still carrying the patterns of your childhood. You are still that hypervigilant child. Only now your room to read account is the boardroom or the school pickup line. You are still the emotional caretaker. Only now you're doing it for your partner, your boss, and your own children. You are still suppressing your own needs, telling yourself to power through, because you've learned that your needs are an inconvenience. Your entire life is a masterpiece of managing, but it's not a life of living. This chronic responsibility is a heavy, heavy cloak. You can't take it off. You don't know how. The idea of letting someone else be in charge, of truly letting go, is terrifying. What if they drop the ball? What if it all falls apart? And deep down, the child logic whispers, "If I am not useful, if I am not responsible, I will not be loved. I will be abandoned." And so you keep carrying the weight, even as it crushes you. You are a high-functioning survivor, but you are not a free person. This emotional suppression has become second nature. You might even pride yourself on being not emotional or logical, but the emotions are there. They are just buried. They are the chronic anxiety you feel. They are the sudden bouts of melancholy. They are the physical ailments your doctor can't explain. Your body is holding all the feelings you were never allowed to have. All the grief, all the rage, all the fear. You are a high-functioning adult, yes, but you are carrying a silent wound, and it is bleeding you, one day at a time. The legacy of this childhood is not just in the big things, like your career choices or relationships. It's in the small, unconscious, moment-to-moment patterns. It's in the way you breathe. Do you notice yourself holding your breath? This is a common pattern for people who grew up in high-stress homes. You hold your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the yelling to start. It's a physical manifestation of a nervous system that is still braced for impact. You are living in a state of suspended waiting, even when there is nothing to wait for. It's in the way you seek permission. Do you find yourself apologizing for things that are not your fault? Do you feel like you have to justify taking a day off or buying something nice for yourself? This is the child who was never allowed to have needs without explaining them, without proving they were deserved. You are still looking for external permission to just exist, to take up space, to have a need. You are still operating as if there is a critical judge watching you, and you must get their approval before you can act. It's in the way you receive. When someone gives you a compliment, what is your first instinct? It's probably to deflect it, to minimize it, or to give one back immediately. Oh, this old thing. You're just being nice. To simply receive a compliment, to let it land, to say thank you, and believe it, feels incredibly uncomfortable, because that inner child was taught that they are not worthy of praise, unless it's for their performance. Unconditional positive regard is a language your nervous system does not speak, and it's in the way you rest. You cannot just be, you have to be doing. The high-functioning wound demands it. Your worth is tied to your productivity. To sit and do nothing feels dangerous. It feels lazy. It feels like you are failing. This is the legacy. It's not a memory. It's a living, breathing pattern that is running your life right now, in your body, in your breath, in your relationships. Recognizing this, not with judgment, but with curiosity, is the next step. So, how do we begin to heal this? The path forward is called reparenting. It's a concept that sounds strange at first, but it is the most practical and profound work you will ever do. It is the process of you, the conscious, compassionate adult you are today, giving to your inner child, the wounded part of you, everything that they did not receive. You are, in essence, becoming the parent to yourself that you always needed and deserved. This is not about blaming your parents. This is about taking responsibility for your own healing, now. This process starts with listening. It's about tuning in instead of out. When you feel that surge of anxiety, instead of distracting yourself or criticizing yourself for it, you pause. You put your hand on your heart, and you ask that inner child, what are you feeling right now? What are you afraid of? You listen to the answer, and you don't judge it. You just receive it. You are becoming a safe container for your own feelings. Then, you give what was not received. If the child is scared, you don't say, stop being silly. You say, I know you're scared. That makes sense. But I am here. I am the adult now, and I will keep us safe. You are providing the comfort and reassurance that was missing. If you are feeling exhausted and that inner critic is telling you you're lazy, you intervene. You become the new voice. You say, you have worked so hard. It is not just okay for you to rest. It is necessary. I give you full permission to do nothing. This is a daily, moment-by-moment practice. It's giving yourself permission to play, to be silly, to buy the crayons and the coloring book. It's feeding yourself good food, regularly. It's creating a bedtime routine that makes you feel safe and cozy. It's all the small, nurturing acts that a good enough parent would have provided. You are now providing them for yourself. You are weaving a new internal tapestry, one of safety, compassion, and unconditional love. You are building, from the inside out, the home you never had. This journey inevitably leads you to what we call shadow work. And that sounds intimidating, but all it really means is turning toward the pain, with honesty and compassion. For your entire life, you have been running, you've been performing, you've been overachieving, you've been caretaking. All of these were strategies to not feel the deep, underlying pain of your childhood. The grief, the rage, the terror, the profound loneliness. Shadow work is the courageous act of stopping, turning around, and finally, gently, looking at what you've been running from. It is, first and foremost, about sitting with the grief for the childhood you lost, the grief for the parent you deserved but did not get, the grief for the small child who had to carry so much. We are so afraid of this grief. We think if we start crying, we will never stop. But grief is not a problem to be solved. It is a process to be honored. It is the rain that is needed to wash the wounds clean. You have to let yourself feel the sadness of what was, so you can finally be free to create what will be. It's also about welcoming your anger. As the child who grew up too fast, you were probably not allowed to be angry. Anger was dangerous. It was bad, so you swallowed it. But that anger is a vital life force. It is the part of you that knows your boundaries were crossed. It is the part of you that said, "This is not right." Shadow work is about finding that anger, which might be buried under layers of depression or anxiety, and letting it have a voice, safely. It is the fuel you need to set boundaries, to say no, and to protect that inner child, fiercely. This is not easy work. It is, perhaps, the hardest work you will ever do. It's about being radically honest with yourself. It's about sitting with the discomfort of your own pain, without numbing it, without distracting yourself, without fixing it, just sitting and breathing and being with yourself, in your pain. This is where the deepest healing occurs. It's not in the light. It's in the willingness to go into the dark and to find that all the parts of you that you thought were bad were just wounded, and that they are all worthy of love. Let's look at how this plays out in real, concrete examples in your adult relationships, because this is where the wound is often most active. You meet someone new. They are charming, but they are also a little chaotic. They need help. They tell you about their difficult past, their struggles at work, and you feel it. That pull, that familiar sense of, I can help them. Your inner caretaker is activated. You jump in. You listen for hours. You give advice. You help them with their resume. You lend them money. You are so busy being their savior, you don't even stop to ask, is this person good for me? Do they ask about my day? This is the parentification script, playing out again. Or here's another one. Your partner comes home from work. They are quiet and seem stressed. They close the door a little too hard. Your nervous system immediately goes on high alert. Your heart rate goes up. Your mind starts racing. What did I do? Are they mad at me? Is it because I didn't take out the trash? Is it something I said this morning? You immediately go to them, not to ask, are you okay? But with a fawning, anxious energy, trying to fix their mood. You ask, do you need anything? Can I get you something? You are, in that moment, that small child, desperately trying to manage the parent's mood, believing that their bad mood is your fault and your responsibility. Here's a positive example of healing. The same situation. Your partner comes home, stressed and quiet. The old you would have gone into that anxiety spiral, but the healing you, the you who is reparenting, notices the anxiety. You pause. You take a breath. You say to your inner child, I feel you. You're scared. But remember, their mood is not our responsibility. We are safe. You give your partner space. And later, you say, you seem like you had a tough day. I'm here if you want to talk about it. You are no longer the caretaker. You are a partner. You are separate. You are safe. One more. Your boss asks you to take on another project, one that you absolutely do not have time for. The old you, the performer, would have said, yes, immediately, with a smile. You would have stayed up all night, sacrificing your sleep and your health, all to be reliable and good, and you would have been silently resentful. The healing you pauses. You feel the familiar terror of saying no, but you do it anyway. You say, thank you for thinking of me. Unfortunately, my plate is full right now, and I can't give that project the attention it deserves. You say it, and you survive. You have just set a boundary. You have just chosen yourself. This is what the work looks like in real life. The entire process of healing comes down to asking the foundational questions, not of your adult mind, but of that inner child. You have to get quiet, and you have to ask them, what did you really need back then? What did that little girl, that little boy, who was so busy being a tiny adult, truly need? They didn't need to be praised for being mature. They didn't need to be their parents' confidant. The answers are usually very, very simple. They needed to be seen, not for their performance, not for their grades, not for their caretaking. They needed an adult to look them in the eyes, to really see them, and to say, "I see you. You are wonderful, exactly as you are. You don't have to do anything, just be." They needed to know that their existence was enough, that they were enough. They needed to be safe, not just physically safe, but emotionally safe. They needed to know that the adults in charge were stable, that they could be a child, they could cry, they could have a tantrum, they could spill the milk, and the world would not end. They would not be screamed at. They would not be met with cold silence. They would be met with, "Oops, let's clean it up. It's okay." They needed to be able to relax their nervous system, to know that the grown-ups were handling the grown-up problems. They needed to be a child. They needed permission to play, to be messy, to be loud, to be selfish, to be imperfect. They needed to know that their only job was to learn and to grow and to discover who they were. They needed the space to do that, a space that was not cluttered with the emotional wreckage of their parent. These are the foundational needs: to be seen, to be safe, and to be a child. And the work of reparenting is to find ways, in your adult life, to finally give those three things to yourself. As you do this work, as you witness your pain, as you reparent that inner child, as you sit with your shadow, something remarkable begins to happen. Transformation. It's not a lightning bolt. It's not a single event. It's a slow, quiet, powerful shift. New patterns begin to emerge. Patterns that are rooted not in survival, but in authenticity. The first and most profound pattern is safety. But this time, it's not a safety you are desperately trying to manage from the outside. It's a safety you are building from the inside. You begin to create an internal sense of home. You learn, through reparenting, that you can, in fact, handle your own emotions. You can be sad, and you can comfort yourself. You can be angry, and you can channel it productively. You realize that you are the safe harbor you've been looking for. Your nervous system begins to learn this. The hypervigilance softens. You start to breathe more deeply. You can sit in a room and just be, without scanning for danger. This internal safety is the most precious gift you will ever give yourself. With this safety comes the courage to build boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are the fences that protect the sacred, healing garden of your inner world. You start to say no, not with anger or guilt, but with calm clarity. You say no to the extra project, no to the friend who only calls to complain, no to your own inner critic. And every time you set a boundary, you are sending a powerful message to your inner child. I will protect you. I will not let you be overwhelmed. I am in charge now. And from that protected space, the most beautiful flower of all begins to bloom. Authenticity, the real you. The self you had to hide away for decades. It starts to peek out. You might find yourself sharing a real opinion instead of what you think others want to hear. You might find yourself drawn to a new hobby, something that is just for you, just for play. You laugh, a real, full-bodied laugh. You cry, and you are not ashamed. You are no longer the performer. You are just you, messy, imperfect, and completely, beautifully real. This is the transformation. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about finally becoming yourself. There's a wisdom that is often shared in healing circles, and it is that we cannot heal in the same environment that made us sick. For so long, we internalize this to mean we must cut everyone off. But the most profound truth is that the environment that made us sick is not just the external house. It is the internal environment. It is the internal narrative of criticism, the internal hypervigilance, the internal pressure to perform. This is the environment we must change. You are the one who has to make the home, inside your own mind and body, a safe and nurturing place. We often think of the child who grew up too fast as being robbed of a childhood, and that is true. But there is another way to see it. You were given an incredibly difficult, advanced level course in human psychology, in resilience, in empathy, the skills you learned as a survivor, your intuition, your strength, your ability to read a room. These are not things to be discarded. They are superpowers. The work of healing is not to throw away these powers, but to learn to use them for yourself, to use that intuition not to manage others, but to listen to your own needs, to use that strength not to carry everyone else as a list item, but to build the life you want. The journey of healing from this is not about going back and fixing the past. The past cannot be fixed. It is about what one writer calls retrieving the gold. It's about going back into the dark, painful memories, not to relive them, but to find the parts of your soul you left behind, to find the creativity, the joy, the playfulness, the vulnerability, and to bring it back home, to bring it into the light of your adult life. You are not broken. You are a survivor who is now learning, with courage, how to live. It is so vital to redefine what healing even means. In our quick fix culture, we want healing to be a destination, a place where we are cured, a place where we are no longer anxious, no longer sad, no longer triggered. But that is just another form of perfectionism, another performance. That is not healing. Healing is not about becoming a new, perfect person. It is about reclaiming all the parts of the person you already are. It's about integration. Healing is about making peace with your story. It is about looking at the child you were, the one who grew up too fast, and no longer seeing them with pity, but with profound respect. You are here today because of that child's resilience. You survived. That child was a warrior. Healing is about honoring them, not trying to get over them. It's about bringing them into your adult life, not as the wounded, scared child, but as the source of your playfulness, your creativity, and your wonder. So, healing is messy. It's not linear. You will have days where you feel strong and free, and you will have days where you are triggered and you feel like that small, scared child all over again. And that is okay. That is part of the process. The difference is that now, when you are triggered, you don't abandon yourself. You don't criticize yourself. You turn inward with that new, compassionate voice, and you reparent. You say, "I'm here. I've got you. We are safe." That is healing. It's the moment-to-moment choice to meet yourself with compassion, over and over again. It's not about erasing the scars. The scars are part of your story. They are a testament to what you have survived. Healing is about the scars no longer hurting. They are no longer open wounds. They are just part of the beautiful, complex tapestry of you. It's about reclaiming your identity, an identity that is not Ike the survivor, or the victim, or Yana the caretaker, but simply you, whole, worthy, and free. If this journey, this story of the child who had to grow up too fast, feels like your story, I just want you to know that you are not alone. There are so many of us who have walked this path, who are walking it right now. This is a space for that journey. If you feel like this is a place where you can feel seen and understood, I want to gently invite you to subscribe, to become part of this community. It's not about numbers. It's about connection. It's about creating a space where we can all heal together and remind each other that we are worthy of that healing. The final stage of this journey is integration. It's the beautiful, quiet process of becoming whole. It's when you are no longer at war with yourself. The high-functioning, capable adult you and the wounded, vulnerable inner child are no longer separate, fighting for control. They have come together. They have integrated. The adult part of you has learned to protect and nurture, and the child part of you has learned to trust, to bring its joy and its creativity into your life. You are no longer just surviving. You are whole. This integration means you can finally reconnect with that inner child, not as a source of pain, but as a source of joy. You can laugh, really laugh, from your belly. You can play, just for the sake of playing. You can feel wonder at a sunset. You are giving yourself, in your adult life, the childhood you never had. You are no longer just the mature one. You are the playful one. You are the creative one. You are the one who rests. You are the one who is real. You will find that your relationships change because you are no longer operating from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness. You stop attracting people who need fixing. You start attracting people who are also whole. You build relationships based not on a shared trauma, but on a shared authenticity. You learn to receive love, to really let it in. You learn that interdependence, not codependence or hyperindependence, is the real goal. This integration is the ultimate act of reclaiming yourself. You are no longer defined by your parents' narcissism. You are no longer defined by your past. You have taken the broken pieces of your childhood, and you have built not a wall, but a beautiful mosaic. It is your life, and you are finally free to live it. You have become the parent, the friend, the partner, and the self that you were always worthy of. Thank you for being here, for being brave enough to listen to this, and to listen to yourself. This journey is not an easy one, but it is the most important one you will ever take. It is the journey back to yourself, and you are so worth it. Remember, the goal is not to be a perfect, healed person. The goal is to be a whole person, to live with compassion, to honor your own story, and to finally give that small, weary child inside of you permission to rest, aim, and to play. You've got this, and you are not alone.